It's time for another power-packed episode of Headspace with Dr. Mike. Each week, Dr. Mike is committed to addressing real life, sometimes polarizing and controversial issues, while offering practical and informed insight. Listen in as we discuss hot topics that matter to us and the communities we live in.
What's up, Headspacers? It's that time again, your favorite time on a Saturday morning. Those that are listening in to our live broadcast on Facebook and YouTube, welcome. We try to broadcast every Saturday when possible at 11 a.m. We're back in Eastern Standard Time, Christy, back in Eastern Standard Time.
We're here.
We're going to talk about that in a few moments because listen, I'll talk about it in a few moments, but we just want to thank you all for tuning in. You are all the true heroes. My mama is on, so we can get started. Good morning, Mama. Love you.
Good morning, Mama Dorsey.
A great shout out to all of you who tune in on our podcast. As soon as we finish broadcasting live, we also make sure we put it on most outlets for broadcast via podcast. And so thank you all for tuning in with us. We got to give a big shout out to our family at Elevation Global Media. Thank you so much, the mothership. They're actually having it. Those of you who are in Baltimore, in the Baltimore area, they are actually having a holiday fest today, actually at 10 o'clock to 3 o'clock in Towson at their headquarters. And so you definitely, if you're available, make sure you check that out. I'm hoping that I can slide by there, but I'm not sure that I'll be able to because, Christy, I am booked. I am booked, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
but our brother is booked.
Booked and busy.
Christy, how are you? You doing all right?
I'm doing all right, Mike. I'm doing all right. Just counting down to Thanksgiving, getting a little break, from work and figuring out this whole cooking thing. I have decided I'm going to cook. I was considering not cooking, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm getting my menu together.
Are you hosting the people for the holiday, or are you just
just a small, just very intimate, very immediate family. Just gonna keep it nice and tight.
Keep it nice and tight.
Mm-hmm.
Like that bun on your head, nice and tight. Like that bun on your head, nice and tight.
How about you? What are your plans?
We are going to Ohio. We always go to Ohio.
Oh, okay.
That's where the Mrs. That's where her family is, and so we're going out there. We always head out there. It always works out great. We get out there, hang out with the fam, and then I get to preach at I can't call it my home church, but my Ohio church.
Yes.
I always get to preach that Sunday, and then we have lunch, and then drive on back and get back on Mondays in time to start the next week. But yeah, that's kind of our plan. So we'll be heading out to Ohio.
Very nice. Sounds fun.
Woo! All right, so we got a lot to do today. We just might as well start. What we starting with, Christy?
The elephant, or if you aren't into elephants and you're more into donkeys in the room.
What you did there? I like what you did there. I like that.
We got to talk about the midterm election results.
Oh my gosh, petty politics.
Woo! Or lack of results, however you want to look at it.
Listen.
We're hanging in the balance, brother.
We are literally hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The red wave was it a spotting?
It was a spotting. It definitely
the seas were calm.
They were, and I will say, it was pretty historic what happened. 80 years of midterm elections, and it's always shifted very convincingly toward the other side. Whoever's not the president, the party that's not the president, executive branch, then it shifts to the other side, and it didn't shift as convincingly as we thought. Let me not say how we thought. I learned from the Bush election never to listen to the pundits.
Yeah.
After that election, I was like, I don't care what they say. It's nothing matters until the final vote is counted on
Absolutely.
election day, or 5 days later, or 10 days later, or you have a runoff like in Georgia. But it it doesn't count until it's all done, because all the pundits, they think they think they have these hypotheses, but they don't know what the everyday person is going to do. And so it's amazing. It's historic that it happened that way.
The rules have changed. I think the rules have changed. I think that there's a lot of issues here, and I think the country is speaking. The country is speaking. And to be honest with you, Christy, I'm gonna be honest. I'm encouraged. I'm encouraged. I was concerned for a little bit. I was really concerned. I mean, I do think it is discouraging that we are really divided as much as we are. But I was a little more. First of all, I'm going to be honest with you, and I can say this now, and I may lose supporters, and that's fine. Like, because I get it. If you're going to leave me because I feel this way, but I am glad that the R's are moving away from. They're trying to move away from Donald Trump. I think it's very dangerous, the amount of influence that he has on our country. And I said it. I think it's
I
very.
agree.
I just think it's dangerous.
I agree. But in that same thought, while we are clearly a divided nation, it is dangerous also to have one party in power.
True. Very true.
In all three, you
Very true.
can't. That's not
That's
that's
true.
not a I don't think that's a dangerous place,
That's true.
to have one party to have all the power.
I
We've
agree with
seen
that.
that in the past, and we've seen the consequences of that. And
Yeah,
I think there needs to be a balance of power, and
I agree.
we need to have checks and balances and all of that. So I while I am discouraged that we are divided, I'm encouraged that people don't seem to be as rubber stamped voters as we used to be. And I
Yeah.
think that's important. That's
Yeah.
important. But let's talk about what's going on. So the Senate is, we're down to what, one race? Well, two races.
Two. Nevada and
Two
Georgia.
races. Nevada and Georgia. We know Arizona went blue last night, officially went to Kelly.
Yep.
And so we're waiting between Arizona. Arizona is like a hair. It's like a hair. It's like a point. It's like, what is it? Like 800 and some votes difference between the two candidates
You talking
in
about for
Arizona.
the governor?
And not, oh, is that the governor or is that the Senate
Yes, the
race I'm
governor
thinking of?
right now, the
The
governor Katie
governor.
Hobbs and Carrie Lake.
That's what I'm thinking about.
Well, and Hobbs does have a lead, and a slight lead, but Carrie Lake, remember, she was the one that was the anchor woman, and
Hmm.
she's real, yeah, the election night. But no, Nevada is the one that keeps fluctuating with the Senate.
Hmm.
Um, that's also pretty tricky too. And I guess apparently, yeah, it goes back to what you said earlier about how the pundits, they just don't know.
Hmm.
And the dynamics of how voting has happened now, because what they're saying is, it used to be early votes, you could count on it being more leaning more Democrat. Day
Hmm.
of vote, you could count on it leaning more Republican. But now out there, you had the mail-in vote on the
Hmm.
day of. And so they're like, they can't really predict how that's going to shift. It's
Right.
just, there's a whole lot, and you're so right. We just have to sit and wait. You know what I find fascinating though? Before we even talk about Georgia, what I do find fascinating, somebody pointed this out. I was at a training earlier this week, and somebody said that we can do our banking from our phones, like our banking, like we can move
Money.
millions of dollars
Hmm.
from our phones. Why is it that we can't vote more simplistically? Like, and
Now.
then here's the other thing: Florida. Say what you want to say about Florida. We knew instantly. Like, we knew, what are they doing? That's they got their issues, they got the drama. But Florida, we knew instantly.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I do find it fascinating that, why is this in such a technologically advanced country? We seem to be going backwards. Like, we're waiting months to find out answers to election. I don't know.
Point is valid. And on that note, Georgia, right?
I got Georgia, Georgia, Georgia.
Yeah, we'll be waiting until December to find out who's going to win that race. And I mean, once again, they're back in the spotlight. 2 years ago, the same thing.
Same thing.
Same
Two
thing.
black men though are running for the Senate in what used to be the hub of the Confederacy. Let
Yeah,
that
that's
sink in.
pretty
So
fascinating.
and so Stacey Abrams did not win, right?
No,
She did not win.
she did not.
But you know what's fascinating to me, and somebody told me this years ago. They said, it doesn't always look the way you think it should look, but the impact is all it can be there. And the impact of Stacey Abrams, there's so many people who felt disenfranchised, who feel disenfranchised. And it's been proven, this is not just conjecture, it was proven that there was some inequity when it came to voting in places like Georgia, in the Deep South. Let's keep it real. We have proof to show that voting laws were systemically made to prevent certain populations and certain voices from having an impact on who runs different parts of government. And she made a big impact. The fact that the studies are showing now that these monumental wins of the Democratic Party particularly are happening on the backs of Black and brown voters. That's powerful.
That's huge.
That is very powerful. And I think we need to start leveraging that.
I agree.
We need to start leveraging that and see what some of these conversations look like, because look, that's how it's working. Speaking of which, history was made here in Maryland.
Yes. Local and national news.
Local and national.
Maryland has its first
governor-elect Wes Moore.
Yes, first African American governor
in Maryland, the third in the country.
Yes, that is amazing and so sad at the same time.
Before I even go to that, Tennille asked, but do you think that is why she lost? Well, I don't know that Georgia was ready for a female governor, let alone a Black female governor. I don't think they were ready for that. I don't think they were quite ready for that. Which is fascinating to me. I'm sure she's upset quite a few people, Tennille. I think that. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Christy?
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah.
They're not ready. They're not ready. It will get there. And you gotta water, the sun gotta shine. And the harvest will reap. But I'm
and what I love about her though is that she's going to do everything she can to get Senator, because he is a sitting senator, by the way, Senator Warnock, to keep his seat. She's going to do everything in her power to do that and make sure it's kept legal. So, but let's get back to Wes Moore. Yeah. How about that? And and let's talk about this civility. So say what you want to say about our current governor, Larry Hogan. I will tell you, and I happen to work in his administration, and I'm not just saying this to say this. I don't agree with who agrees with everything, right? Who agrees with everything? I do what I'm supposed to do as a part of my position. So I want to make sure that's very clear.
Right.
So if y'all want to get sound bites, y'all get, there are things that I will not say out loud because that's not my responsibility. But what I did appreciate was how he handled the press conference. If anybody didn't get a chance to see it, class act, Governor Hogan, class act.
Absolutely. Let me say this, and I think I've said this on this program before. I'm a Hogan fan.
Yeah.
Again, I don't agree with everything.
Sure.
And like you said,
we're not going to agree with everything Wes Moore does.
Obama, right? I didn't agree with everything Obama did.
That's right.
But I am that. I'm gonna tell you something, and I said this I posted this under somebody's somebody posted something about Hogan and how they were really proud of how he handled everything. And I'm like, listen, if Hogan ran for president, I might be looking.
I won't be mad.
It depends on who he was running against.
Sure.
But I'm not mad at Hogan. I appreciate what he did for this state overall.
He's been nicknamed some things, Lockdown Hogan. I happen to think he kind of handled that relatively well. I don't know. I'm going to go back to this though, because this is the main event. We have this historic moment. Clearly, he said we're not on the same, we have different philosophies about things. But one of the things he said was, I'm convinced that Wes Moore really truly cares about the citizens of the state of Maryland and wants to see Maryland be better. And you can't argue with that. And look, so he said, look, and I'm a witness. I know already there's things that I have to do as part of my job to make sure the transition does occur smoothly, so that when he takes office the third Wednesday in January, everything is as seamless as possible. So congratulations, Governor-elect Wes Moore. I'm excited about working with you and seeing what you do for our state. Yay. My son is growing up in a state where he can see himself being the governor of the of a state.
Beautiful thing.
President. Basically our sons, Christy.
Yeah.
Our sons have seen themselves. There's a picture. I don't know if you saw my Facebook post when he came to our church, and he shook Mike's hand and he like talked to Mike. And I'm going to get that thing framed and put that up for my son to look at all the time, because I want him to see that. And so anyway, all right, let's go ahead and pay a bill. And we'll see y'all in a little bit. We got a special treat for you all after my heads up, so stay tuned. 2020 gave birth to a lot of endeavors. Here in 2021, everyone has had to get in touch with their inner producer. Our man Garrett Brace is one of those guys you need on your team. We at Headspace with Dr. Mike are clients of his, as he ensures all of our audio files are crisp, clean, and cool. If you have any audio, video, and even lighting needs, hit him up at G Walt Services on Instagram. Remember, G Walt Services, servicing all your audio, video, and lighting needs. So recently, I think I've told you all that I have been going through this journey in my 40s. Like I'm gonna tell you something. This has been truly an experience. So I'm gonna be honest with you. My 20s were my 20s, right? 20s, I kind of was just out of college, just young and dumb. I had my mind set on what life was supposed to be like in my 30s. And to be honest with you, I have to tell you that of all the decades, 30s was probably my hardest decade. 30s was when I grew up. 30s was when I really became, I don't want to say I became a man, but that's the best I could describe it, where I actually got to see what life really is and started realizing that I needed to make a decision about what I wanted the future of my life to look like. And towards the end of my 30s, of course, got married and we started a family and that sort of thing, and things did get better, but 30s was rough. Now that I'm in my 40s and getting settled in, I'm 44 now, going to be 45 in April. It's a whole different ballgame. And one of the areas that I've really, really struggled in, and this may come as a shock to you all, because I know for many of you, you know me as this very confident person. You know me as this person who just seems to really seem like I have it all together. I really struggle with self-confidence. I don't think, and this is me having a transparent moment with you all, that when I ask people questions about something, like, for instance, when I give a speech, after the show, when I do training, I'll ask somebody and they'll say, I ask, did I do okay? And they're like, oh my gosh, you did great. And I'm like, are you sure? And they're like, they look at me like I'm crazy. And I'm not saying it because I really want you to pump my head up. Like, I really am saying it because for whatever reason, I really struggle in that area of self-confidence. I don't know if it was maybe some key people in my life. They gave me some feedback about something that really kind of just discouraged me. But whatever it is, it's an area that I'm really trying to grow in this season of my life. And it's starting to happen. And what I've recognized, and the Lord has really been working with me on this, and it goes back to Psalm 139:14. David said, Lord, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And that really encourages me, because what that shows me is that I am enough. I am enough. And I want that to encourage you all, because of the fact that God knew you before he even knew the earth, before he even knew the stars that are shining and have been shining for millions and billions of years, before he knew how many blades of grass there were going to be on the land, before he knew what was going to happen 10,000 years from now, he knew you. And when you even think about the fact of how man became a man, God said, I want there to be man. He came down and scooped up the dirt and he blew his breath into that man and he handcrafted man. right? He handcrafted Adam. And it goes to show that each and every one of us have been handcrafted by him. And we're fearfully and wonderfully made. We are enough in him. I am enough in him. And there are times where the devil will try to throw at me these pieces to make me think I'm not good enough, that I don't have the talent, I don't have the ability, I don't have the potential to do these things. And it's in those times where I have to really fully lean in to what I know about the Lord. For me, I encourage that for you. Lean into what you already know. And it's not about leaning into your own understanding, right? It's not about your understanding, because when we try to think about it from our point of view, it's not going to make sense, because we're not that way, because we need God to help us with that. But once you lean into him and understand that everything that he does is perfect. Here's the thing. We're doing this. My bishop is really spending some time talking about spiritual gifts. And over the last couple of years, I've had the opportunity to really kind of study spiritual gifts. And one of the things that we know about spiritual gifts is that, first of all, God has given each and every one of us gifts and abilities. And here's why. He gave them to us because he wanted us to be able to make an impact on the kingdom. So these gifts and abilities that he's given us, he's given to us with the purpose of giving to the kingdom to grow his kingdom, right? And so a lot of times how that shows up is our local church. Our local church is our opportunity to give to the kingdom. And so for us, that when we're a part of a local ministry, we're not supposed to just sit on a pew every Sunday and call it a day. We're not even just supposed to pay our tithes. What we're actually supposed to do is, yes, contribute to the finances of the ministry, I mean, as a member, but also we're supposed to contribute to the outreach of the ministry. Whatever your spiritual gift is, you're supposed to be giving it to that. Did you know that when you study spiritual gifts, that when you really get into it, God has allocated certain gifts to certain areas of the kingdom to be used. And so he's actually put you in as a resource so that it can be used. He's already allocated you, your gift that he's given you. Think about what I just said there. Think about what I just said there. He specifically gave you something. He wants you to go and use it to build the kingdom and make it better. And if you weren't enough, you wouldn't be able to do that. Think about that. If you weren't enough, you wouldn't be able to do that. So when Satan tries to throw that up against you, I want you to be encouraged and know, guess what? You are enough. You are enough in him. And with that, that's my heads up.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
So I am excited. We actually have a special treat in the studio today. So a little backstory, how I really got into professional speaking, believe it or not, it started with, I think I told you all, there was a woman by the name of Lily Brown. She was a member of my church. And when I was in middle school, I want to say the 7th grade, she came to one of our, it was called Word of Life. It was like our youth Bible study. And she came and showed a video of this national competition sponsored by the NAACP. And it was called ACTSO, Afro Academic Cultural, Technological, and Scientific Olympics. And it was founded by Vernon Jarrett. He was actually in Chicago. And he just had this vision of bringing together high school scholars. We celebrate athletes, right, at the Olympics. And he was like, what if we had something called the Olympics of the Mind? And so he was very monumental in bringing together what was called ACTSO. And it was it was everything, showcasing arts, the sciences. I mean, it's really expanded. And I think I told you all this last year, I actually kind of got to have my ACTSO experience a little different. I was actually a judge in the original essay category at the national competition. And so through that, I actually competed in oratory all 4 years of my high school career. I got 3rd place in Baltimore my first year, but then I got gold my sophomore through senior year. I didn't quite get any medals in the national level, but I did get to represent Baltimore at the national level, and the rest is history, right? I literally get paid to do that. So anyway, it is my honor and my privilege to introduce one of my young sisters in the AXO community. She represented Baltimore. When did you represent Baltimore, Aliyah?
This was in 2012.
2012. She actually represented Baltimore at the AXO competition in Houston, Texas. And matter of fact, we have a mutual one of our mentors, both of us, Annette Haynes. Hey, Annette, good to see you.
Right
reminding us culinary. We actually have culinary as a huge competition as a part of the AXO, and it's tagged on with as a part of the NAACP convention. It fits well with that. And so actually, when the NAACP convention meets, when the NAACP convention meets, before it even starts, AXO is the thing. And high school students from literally all over the country come together to compete. And I mean, these are brilliant. I mean, these students are brilliant. And Annette said already, Aliyah, you represented Baltimore well. I'm sure you did. What category were you in when you competed in AXO?
I was in the dance category.
Dance category, that's right. Do you remember the name of the song that you competed with?
Ooh, oh my gosh. I feel like it might have been, for some reason, Living on a Prayer, like some type of version that had a bunch of orchestra version or something like that.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm not going to ask too many more questions about that because I don't want to date you because, we don't want to do that. Even I didn't gave my age out all in this, but look, I am so tickled black that you were able to come on and be a part of Headspace with Dr. Mike. Aliyah, so here's the thing. You competed in AXO. You were a graduate of Baltimore School for the Arts, right? So Baltimore School for the Arts, which is one of the magnet schools here in the Baltimore area, Baltimore City. Christian, of course, a Baltimore County school alum, but you, Baltimore City, Baltimore School of the Arts, which is known all over the place. A lot of big time folk come out of Baltimore School for the Arts. What are you doing now? Like, what are you doing with your life post all that?
Currently, I am on the Broadway musical, the first national tour of Tina, the Tina Turner musical.
I need you to stop real quick. Y'all, listen to what she just said. She is on the first national tour of Tina, the Tina Turner musical. Isn't that something?
Amazing.
Wow, Aliyah, that is incredible. Congratulations. Now, is this your first professional show, or have you done anything else before this?
This is actually my first national tour. I've worked on cruise ships since 2017 previously before this.
Really? Really?
Yep.
So, okay, so I did not know this. So this is fascinating. How does that work? So have you ever been on the ship and you were expected to do what you're going to do, and then y'all hit turbulent waters? Has that ever happened?
Numerous times. It's been times we're on stage doing lifts, and then the ship could just tilt a little bit, and then we're on one side of the stage, then the other side of the stage. Yeah, that is an often thing. Yep.
Wow. Yep. That is exciting. Wow. So you are on the national tour of what role do you play in that, first of all?
I'm one of the Ikettes in the musical. So back in the day, Tina and Ike Turner had backup singers and dancers who were the Ikettes, probably about 3 or 4 women. So I'm one of the women in that entourage.
So you get to do the dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
We do Proud Mary in the show too. It's actually one of the highlights of the show. At the end of the show, there's this big, huge concert that the girl that plays Tina comes out and sings, and she does Proud Mary at the end, and it's all the female ensemble dancers, and we're doing all the iconic moves. She has the iconic hair and the look. It is like a straight up concert.
Can I just testify? I had the pleasure this past spring. I saw it on Broadway, and it was excellent. So when I heard that you were part of the show, I was like, wow, that's awesome. It was phenomenal. And that last scene, It's I can't even express. I wouldn't even
I'm
just go
jealous
see it.
now.
Just
I
go
want
see it.
Well,
I mean, I was everybody starts dancing in the entire theater.
Yep.
Wow. So so you're in Buffalo now.
Yep.
So those of you in Buffalo, get your tickets if you can. I don't know if it's sold out or not in Buffalo, but you're coming to Baltimore when?
I'll be in Baltimore November 15th to the 20th. So on this Tuesday coming up.
Tuesday coming up, you're going to be at the Hippodrome.
Yep, right at the Hippodrome.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, I bet it's going to be a treat. Oh my. Wow, Aliyah. Well, I am just so excited about that. So talk to us a little bit about if there's a young girl in high school, young boy in high school who is saying, I think I want to do that one day. When you were in high school, did you see yourself doing this? Like, did you see it even happening?
When I was in high school, I definitely saw myself continuing to dance. I don't even know if I would have had the aspect of going into musical theater realm.
Mhm.
I kind of wanted to do like modern, like be an Alvin Ailey, do that realm. And then I just met so many people. I went to Towson University. So going there after high school, I met so many people and alumni who just not only did concert dance or just did ballet, did modern. They branched out and did other realms of dance as well. And I just realized that I wanted to be versatile in what I did. So just being like, yeah, I can do modern, I can do ballet, I can do tap, but like all those elements can be formed into doing a musical as well.
Wow. Annette says, thank you, Annette. Thank you. Annette says she's beyond proud of both all. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
We really appreciate that and all the support that you've given through the years. And she has
Mhm.
her tickets, so she will be there.
She already
So
told me she got her tickets.
I bet she did. I bet she did. Let me tell you something. Annette, let me tell you something. Annette is probably one of the best cheerleaders ever for anybody. When
Mhm.
she really buys into what you do, I want to be that person. I want to be one of those people that just, the way I can give back is to support that. And so, Annette, we just want to acknowledge you. Thank you so much for the love and support that you give us. Absolutely. Chrissy, did you have a question you wanted to ask Aliyah? I didn't want to step all over you because I've just been talking and talking. I could do that all day.
Oh, no, I just wanted to enjoy the conversation and just chime in about, my experience of seeing Tina. Mason is in the background.
Mason,
He's cheering you on too, Aliyah.
yeah,
But yeah, I'm excited to have you a part of the show today, and just knowing that I experienced the show Tina over the spring, so I know what energy it brings. So just
awesome.
glad it's here in Baltimore that my fellow Baltimoreans will get a chance to experience it.
That's right. That's right. So, Aliyah, before we let you go, what piece of advice would you offer to someone who's just talking about pursuing their dream, really thinking about pursuing their dream or anything like that? What are some pieces of advice you would offer?
Just to keep going. This is not a easy easy job. The things that we do are not easy, and there'll be moments where even I said to myself, I think I'm done. I don't think it's for me. And then God just is like, nope, not yet. Here's a door opening. Nope, not yet. Here you go. And
Mm,
it can get very very hard. There,
mm.
like I said, there's moments where I just been like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I am. But just being persistent, being consistent, being constant has definitely been a blessing for me as far as just keeping going.
Aliyah, that's great, and you're so right. God has a way of doing that, doesn't He? Just when you,
Hmm.
just when you think, just when you think you aren't going to make it anymore, He just gives you that extra little push to
Yep.
remind you of where you're supposed to go and what He told you. So that's definitely encouraging. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for hanging out with us. Hopefully, you'll be able to join us again. One of our listeners wants to know. Are you ever going to come? Is your team going to Denver, or have you been to Denver already?
We are not going to Denver. I wish we were. We're staying in the East Coast up until maybe Christmas. And then after Christmas, we're down south. And then after that, we're all on the West Coast. But we're not hitting Denver this go around. We're not hitting Texas, which I wish. But this
Sure.
regular tour, we're not. Yep.
Okay, so this leg of the tour, you're not, but check it out and see where they may be, and maybe they'll be close to you, Kevin. And then also keep it on the lookout for the next thing. So, Aliyah, please keep in touch. Let us know how things go.
Of
I'll be
course.
checking in on you. Now that I have your text, I'll just text just to make sure that you're doing all right. But you'll be home, so you already know to get your crab cake, your chicken
Yep.
box, all that fun
Yep.
stuff. You know
Already
how
on
to
my
do all
list.
that. You won't recognize Lexington Market. It's a new Lexington Market now.
I know, I heard, and a lot of people in my cast have done tours and stuff, and they're like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go to Lexington Market." I said they have changed it completely. So what you saw Lexington Market back then is something completely different.
Yep, they've rebuilt it. So,
Yep.
well, Aliyah Caldwell, thank you so much for hanging out, y'all in Baltimore or anywhere that their tour goes. Check out Tina, the Tina Turner musical. Look at one of the Ikettes, and you will see Aliyah. Thank you so much, Aliyah. We'll
Thank
talk to you
you.
soon. Be blessed.
All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Let's take a break.
Our world is filled with polarizing topics that land most people on one side or the other. The Headspace with Dr. Mike team isn't afraid to take them on. Monthly, we will invite people on both sides of some of the most controversial topics, from the serious to the silly, to debate their positions. We look forward to charged discussions that will inform and entertain. DM your head-to-head show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook at Headspace DM.
What a treat that was.
Yes, it was.
What a treat that was. Wow. It was a treat on so many levels. But yeah, that was a treat. Anyway, all right. Woo. So check out Tina, the Tina Turner musical experience. So what's next? What else we got? Where are we going from here?
Well, I guess, we're talking about entertainment and all of that. We might as well go ahead right on and talk about Wakanda.
Yes.
Forever.
So
Let me just say, I have a bone to pick with you, Mike, because good and well, your responsibility was to have watched this before today's show so that we could have a full conversation about it. Not a spoiler,
right.
but
Nice conversation.
So Rob and I went to see it Thursday night.
And because my fans are ruthless, and so I want to make sure they understand. Our flight for Wakanda lands at 7:00 today. I have other responsibilities, and just we could not get it together to be able to go for opening. We weren't able to do it, but we are flying into Wakanda tonight at 7.
Finally.
So, she acting like this right now. There'll be times I want to talk about something and she hasn't watched it yet.
Facts.
But now she acting off because we're not going to talk about. I know it's not on the same scale, but I want to talk about Big Brother, the finale, but I couldn't because she hadn't watched it because she was behind because she was vacationing somewhere.
You're petty. Come on, petty.
I'm petty. But go ahead. You and Rob went and did.
Yes. So we went in our white, because that is the official funeral or homegoing color. That's the homegoing color. So you are to wear white. So we wore our white to the services for King T'Challa, and it was excellent. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It's like 2 hours and 40 minutes long, and it doesn't feel that long.
Okay, that's good to know.
So that's a good thing. I didn't feel like it really slowed down much at any point. It's very, very layered. The costuming, the wardrobe.
I'm excited about that.
Woo! I just wanted to snatch the stuff off of the actors. They looked regal, and it was well done. It was well done. There are some shocking moments in it, and I will give you this. Please, whatever you do, stay until the lights to the theater come up.
Okay.
Do not leave when it looks like it's over.
Okay.
Because what did Brown Clark say? It ain't over until God says it's over.
Yep, it ain't over.
So there's something you would want to see. You definitely want to see toward the end.
Okay.
But it was phenomenal. I'm looking forward to having this conversation next week when you've seen it, Mike, and we can talk about it in a little bit more detail, but not give anything away.
Yes. We're definitely going to do. I'm so excited. I am excited about it. I think we talked about this before. I did discuss this with my leadership students on Thursday, that it's more than just a movie. We were led to believe. I'm not gonna lie. I remember growing up, and maybe it was me. I just remember I didn't really the idea of Africa wasn't exciting. Like it never got presented as this place that I wanted to go to. And I remember my first trip to Africa, I was like, well, this is nothing like. Now there's pieces of it that's what I imagined, but you know, it is, I think that's anywhere. But the other part of it was Africa is has the most natural resources of any part of the world. And there is a reason why it was colonized why like it was, and there was a reason why the inhabitants of that land did not get the best end of the deal, and did not get the support to fully develop themselves. And I love how, for me, based off of the limited piece of what I know, that the whole concept of Black Panther really does put back into our minds of what it could be, what it potentially could be. And I love that. I love that idea. I love that idea. So anyway,
and also the beauty of it in this particular film is how and I know we discussed this in previous shows, but how, you know, Hispanics, period, not just Americans, Hispanic Americans, but the Hispanic culture has been weaved into the story. And I mean, phenomenal job. The way they introduce, I'm just gonna say this, the way they introduce the Hispanic culture in this movie, that first scene, oh my goodness.
I can't wait.
Hold on.
I can't wait.
Mike, I'm gonna need you to text me when you, because I know it's gonna be later, but you text me when y'all get out the movie, and
I will.
just give me a one-liner of your thoughts.
I will. I'm excited. Ryan Coogler is a bad dude. And I'm just gonna leave that there. And I'm putting this out there. I want him on our show. We're going to figure out how to get Ryan Coogler on our show. He's a bad dude, and I like. He's just a bad dude. So I have no doubt. I hear. Yeah. Anyway, if you haven't gotten your tickets to Wakanda, make sure you do. I cannot wait. I got my bags already packed. We have my sister-in-law actually makes shirts, and so we actually have custom designed shirts for us, so that we can make sure we travel to Wakanda in style. And so we will be at the Fune. So
you'll be at the Fune.
Oh,
enjoy.
You know what? Talking about Rich. They didn't call out numbers.
I think they got it wrong. I want to redo.
Yeah, I do too. I want to recount.
I want to redo. I want to. They something ain't right. And do you know?
I want to recount.
Here's that really got me, Mike. So after I figured out, okay, I'm not going to be a billionaire. This is not in the Lord's will for me right now. Right. Then my mom calls me, right, and she says, so did y'all? I know y'all didn't hit the $1 billion one. Did y'all hit the $1 million that was in Catonsville? So somebody in Catonsville got the $1 million prize. Yes, they did. I know, Mason. And I'm calling Rob like, well, where did you get the ticket from? Are you sure? So one person got $1 million right here, not too far from me in Catonsville. I was like, I could have been okay with that, Lord. That would have been all right for me.
I told Suppose that. I said now the billion, the if I had won the jackpot, the $2 billion, what is it, $2 billion? $2 billion. Was it $2 billion? Mm-hmm. And so when you take it home, because I would have done the cash option. I wouldn't even want to do that. I ain't gonna just give me the cash option. That was almost $1 billion. I told him, I said, yeah, I'm quitting my job. Like that's quitting. Like that's not even a question.
Why would you not?
Like, right, that's not a question. But the $1 million, I probably would stay working for a little bit. I may have been a little looser.
$1 million is not a lot. It's $1 million is not a lifetime type of money, but it does give you a lot of gap and room to take some time off and figure out some other things you might want to do or how you might want to use that money to make more money.
Exactly.
I think I still would have been like, you know what? I don't
know if $1 million I would have. I think I don't know. But one thing is for certain, I did tell Lord he can trust me with it.
Yeah, amen.
Lord, you can trust me with it.
Let me prove it, Lord.
Look, I just want to show you. I know you know everything, but I just want to make sure, just to reinforce, you can trust me with it. Speaking of that, let's go ahead and pay a bill.
All right.
Well, we can't pay that bill. Focused on photo, versed in video, For Any Media brings visions to life, from headshots to family shoots, casual candids to structured scenes. Our team can provide whatever you need. In Baltimore, you may have seen us at local events such as the Poly City Tailgate or the Randallstown Romp. You can find us on all social media platforms at the number 4 Any Media. For Any Media, for anything. Contact us so we can create. All right. So, speaking of winning millions, looks like Biden's student loan forgiveness is really on hold for right now.
Because I was going to use that Powerball ticket to pay that off.
I was going to do it. I was going to do my part. Yeah,
it's on hold. They're not even accepting any more applications at this time.
They're not accepting any more applications. I mean, this one's on hold. Like, the court in Texas said it was illegal.
Yeah.
And get this, the plaintiffs.
Talk about it, Mike.
The plaintiffs came through an organization. And I knew this answer, and I had it on a Post-it note. I can't find the Post-it note. But the dude that started the organization is pretty controversial. But the two main plaintiffs in this case, one of them didn't even qualify, doesn't have any federal loans. And the second one, get this, Christy, the second one was going to get the $10,000, but one going to get the $20,000 because they didn't have a Pell Grant.
The ultimate haters.
Let me tell you something. Haters are the best haters.
Listen, they hating real good, right? Haters going to hate.
Haters are the best haters. Y'all, haters are, look, can nobody hate better than a hater?
Listen, they that's the ultimate hate right there. I mean, come on.
But you know what, Christy? Here's my thing. So I'm gonna keep it real. I'm just gonna keep it real. Congress can get this done now because they have the majority right now. The new thing won't happen until January, I think. So
Facts.
They could actually, if they really cared, they could do this. So clearly, I don't think Congress really wants to see this happen. So I need y'all to pay attention to that, right? I need y'all to pay attention to that. And what I talk about, we can start leveraging our voice, right? So Congress could pass it. They could codify it. They could. But they're not. So
but will they?
There's that. Now it has to go through the appeal process. We shall see. I don't know. Anyway.
Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, I'm not. Y'all.
What'd you say? I'm sorry. You were breaking up a little bit. What'd you say, Mike?
I said when the what's it called? When the payments have to restart again in January, just go ahead and start just sending your payments in and see how the Lord will bless you. You just need to start doing.
I think it's going to be a lot of people in default. I'm sorry to say.
I'm doing what I got to do so I can make sure I'm public service. So I'm trying to get all the payments in that I need so I can get the PSLF. Because my brother got a lot to pay back. All right. So here's the other thing. Say what you said during the production meeting about Elon Musk. What did Elon Musk do, Christy?
Oh yeah, Elon Musk. He's sending the Twitter people back to the office. The Twitterins.
The Twitterins?
The Twitterins. They got to go back, Mike. Elon, let me tell you something about him. He is like, listen, I'm in the building and I'm coming in hot. He's sending all the Twitterins back. They cannot work from home anymore, Mike.
The chief twit then sent all the Twitterins back into the office.
Indeed. Listen, when I heard, if I worked for Twitter, and I'm sure before Elon Musk, it probably was a pretty cush job, and all of that. But when I heard about him taking over and buying it, I would have had to find me a new job.
Oh
There's no way
yeah,
in the
I
world.
easily would have
He's gonna
started.
bring the shenanigans.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of mess, and apparently stuff is starting to come out that he ain't all above board like we were led to believe. Like there's a whole lot of
Shocking.
smoke and mirrors going on with his stuff. Well, I have a friend. Who has one of those Teslas, and he ended up having to sell it. He was like, it's not worth it on the other end of it. It's not
Yeah.
it's not worth it on the other end. On the front end of it, it's like, oh, great, I don't have to do any type of maintenance, blah blah blah. But then when it is time to do maintenance, it's beyond having to do maintenance on a luxury car because I hit a lot of people Mercedes and the Lexus and all that stuff. But then when you got to go get a routine oil change and it costs an arm and two legs to get it.
I've heard horror stories about the the Teslas. So yeah.
Then if it's I even heard like if it's a cloudy day or something, like the stuff don't work, and if it don't charge the right way, it leaves you stranded. And if you driving through rural America and there's no charging station, then you when it's time to charge, you got to sit for like 2 hours to get it charged. I don't know.
Is it that long?
I mean, it depends. If you don't get a Tesla charger, it's like have you ever charged your phone and you have your fast charger, and so it does it like in an hour, but then or 40 minutes, but then when you put in another type of charger, it takes like 3 hours. Like my car does that. It takes forever to charge the phone. I think it's the same idea. And then charge don't stay. Yeah, I heard the wheels are worth a whole lot of money. Anyway, I'm not trying to discourage anybody from getting a Tesla. All I'm trying to say is, from what I understand, he ain't necessarily the most savvy with business. But isn't that how it always works out? When you have these businesses that are driven by a personality, you start finding out. Yeah. Anyway, well, Twitterins, I'll be praying for y'all.
Yes.
Return to the office.
Pray your strength.
Yeah. So another issue that we have going on is we got to pray for our children. In Baltimore, and I'm hearing this is around the country, more and more handguns are being found in the schools. The kids are going to school with handguns.
Very concerning. See, this is to me. I remember when we first went into the pandemic, and one of the first things I mentioned was that at least if I know Mason is terrible, at least if the students are home, we don't have to worry about school shootings and all of that. We don't have to worry about that. And unfortunately, students are just, it's not good. It's not good.
Because I would never forget my growing up. We have family prayer before we left out. And it used to be kind of, I don't want to call it inconvenient, but it was just one of the things like, we gotta go pray again, because you just don't know what you don't know. But I am convinced that the dangers seen and unseen, part of that happened because my parents prayed over us before we went to school. Like I even think back to, remember when we kept having those fires, those fires in our school. And I remember, I think it was one time, were we in the same class when we actually walked out because we thought it was another fire drill, and all of a sudden it really was smoking the really was smoking the hallway.
Yeah, I remember that. That was an interesting time.
That was it. And then when we fought, Christy, well, I didn't fight, but when there were fights, there weren't weapons. There was weave on the floor. That would happen. Hair would get pulled out. They were scuffles. They were you used your fists. You slap people. Like you didn't bring weapons. Like, to me, the fight, it was one of those things that you knew you had to live after the fight, right? You may be suspended, but you were alive. You got your frustration out. But it's like these kids, they're going for broke. It's like, I'm just going to end your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it's scary.
That about?
Well, we
Is
know
life
it's
just so? Are we just that so deprived at this point that that's where we've come to? Is that our children don't feel as if there's anything worth living for, or allowing others to live for something? Annette
it's a
said,
sad situation. It's sad.
behavioral mental health issues on the rise. They are. They are. I do you think we had some of this stuff happening before the pandemic, but do you think the pandemic kind of made it even worse?
Oh, absolutely, because they were, isolated and they didn't. Yeah, of course, all of that has an impact. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, it seems that it may have gotten worse.
I'm not convinced. I mean, I think that the discipline in the homes is one thing. I do agree with that. I'm gonna be honest with you though. I think it's a combination of things too. The types of shows that our kids are watching, um, the type of video games they're playing. Like, there's almost a piece of me that wonders if subconsciously, you know, they just don't think it's that bad. Like, I mean, I wonder even if you ask some of them, do they think that the people are going to come back to life after they get shot, like the video games do? And I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I wonder if that's. I don't know. We need to bring one of our child psychologists back on and kind of talk to us a little bit about this, because I want to learn more, and I want to figure out how I can support. Um, because it's just hard. It's just hard to really understand what the Lord is trying to say to us in this. And anyway, nonetheless, we will continue to pray for our children, and let's go
Yes,
ahead and take our
indeed.
final break as we close out.
Follow the Headspace with Dr. Mike show on all social media platforms at Headspace DM. We want to keep you up to date on all of our hot topics and keep the dialogue going even after the show. We also value what's important to you and your community. DM your show ideas to us on Instagram or Facebook. The next time you log on, you may hear Dr. Mike discussing the very topic or issue close to your heart.
Well, it's almost that time. I want to end on a positive note.
Yes.
We got to end on a positive note. You got something positive for us, Christy?
Let me think. I'm gonna end how we started. Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is 2
What
weeks
is
away.
the one thing that you're looking forward to eating as a part of your Thanksgiving meal?
Oh, that's hard. My mom, and I know everybody's not a fan of this, but my mom makes the best sauerkraut.
You like
And so
sauerkraut?
I love sauerkraut.
Okay.
I llove sauerkraut, and that mixed with the mashed potatoes and gravy, some turkey, a little bit of sweet potatoes, some greens on the side. That's the whole combination for me. I'm
You
just
know what? I think I'm looking forward to some greens, some good greens. You know what I like with greens? So there's a woman out in Ohio at our church in Ohio, who she makes it with some jalapenos in it. So I call them mean greens.
oh my, okay.
They have a kick to them, Christy. When I tell you they have a kick to them, it's like you bite them. It's like, and all of a sudden, whoa, yeah.
I like spicy.
Yeah, she put some jalapenos in. That's the trick. Some jalapeno, put the jalapeno juices in it too. Ooh. Let me tell you a little bit of crushed red pepper flakes. Yes, ma'am. I'm really looking forward to that. I like turkey. I don't want a lot of it. Like, and after a couple of plates of the turkey, like a couple of days of turkey, I'm done with it.
You're good.
And then I want a little bit of turkey for Christmas, and then after that, I don't need any turkey again until maybe Easter. But I'm looking forward to some turkey. You know what? And this may be a little sacrilegious right now, and don't judge me. Don't judge me. But I may be over macaroni and cheese. No.
And on that note, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure working with you, Dr. Mike. I think this is going to be my last Saturday with Headspace with Dr. Mike, because you hit me excited.
You know what? I said that mess to my son, and he looked at me like he was about to disown me. he was about to rename himself to something else.
Right. Like I can no longer be Michael Dorsey. In the show, Mike. In the show.
People praying for me.
We're gonna go before the throne on your behalf. You need to lay prostrate.
David Johnson's asked for that jalapeno greens recipe. You know, we're gonna try to see what I can do about that. But y'all are praying for me. And you know what? I know that once I get some on my plate, I'm gonna be just fine. I just think that I'm kind of, I don't know. You know what? It may just be a little phase I'm in. But on that note,
happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. We will see y'all next week as we really talk about Thanksgiving next week. But thank you all. I wish you all the best that God has for you. Love you and peace.
Thanks for tuning in to Headspace with Dr. Mike. We hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to follow us on social media at Headspace DM to continue the dialogue with other Headspacers regarding today's show. Everyone is filling their headspace with something. The question is, what are you filling yours with? Tune in next week.